To you, what is the biggest hole in the Trey Lance plan?
The biggest hole in the Trey Lance plan was Kyle Shanahan's refusal to get him those snaps.
Thank you.
It was
I did bring
criminal.
that up during the season, right? I kept being like, "Hey, Kyle, why didn't you play him? Like 3 snaps, maybe."
Couple of
No,
times,
okay.
just like a couple
But
of
he's your
times
starter
a game.
next year. Okay, all right, just checking.
Because you just cannot convince me, no matter how close some of those games were, that came down to a play here or there, you can't convince me that Trey wouldn't have added value for the San Francisco 49ers over that stretch if you had worked him in 3 or 4 times. And this came up for me because Peter King noticed the same thing that you and I did. You were calling for him to get multiple snaps each game, just a handful. I was calling for it. Like, it was something that seemed so easy to work in. It wouldn't undermine Jimmy. You could make it very clear that you're just adding value to the offense, making it slightly less predictable, slightly harder to defend, and it would have given us some comfort for where we are right now in transitioning to Trey. We'd have more knowledge of what he's capable of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. And that's why I think it's fair to question all these reports about how enamored the Niners are. It's like, remember, they blew out the Rams at home. They were up big in the second half, no Trey. So why not? Like, you thought he was going to give up a blowout? He couldn't protect a blowout. And then in Jacksonville, they were up big in the third quarter, the fourth quarter. They didn't get Trey Lance in until the very, very end, and he never threw a pass. There was a series in the fourth quarter in Jacksonville where Jimmy Garoppolo got sacked. I mean, this guy is an injury waiting to happen when he gets hit. Sorry, but you know that about him. He's Mr. Glass, and you let him take a sack in the fourth quarter of a blowout against Jacksonville because you were concerned about putting away the Jaguars with Lance. But now you want us to believe that you're enamored. I mean, you're giving us some mixed messages, aren't you?
Yes, most definitely.
You, Rob.
I give a lot of mixed messages. I'm a slightly confusing individual in that way.
I'm right here with you, though. So the biggest hole in the Lance plan? Yeah, not playing him last year. I can't. You want fine. You want him to be the starter next year? Fine. Like, don't you want to have him hit the ground running? Because to me, the main reason I feel hesitant picking the Niners to win the Super Bowl next season is early. But it's just this.
Yeah, it feels like it
starts. I'd feel better about it.
It feels like it was a bit of insecurity on Kyle Shanahan's part, right? You could see the frustration on his face answering questions from people like yourself, impressors, about Trey Lance. Hey, when do we get to see Trey Lance? Hey, what do you think about putting Trey Lance in again? Like, hey,
you were
spent a
up
lot
20
on
in
Trey
the fourth
Lance.
quarter.
Maybe.
What do you say? What do you think?
You think maybe we could talk to him a little bit?
What? Yeah. What do you say, man? What do you say? You used to play him. You don't play him anymore. What's the deal?
So it was insecurity on his part that, like, he finally got past that to where people were no longer asking him about it. And he was like, dude, if I put him in for 3 snaps, all those questions are coming back and I'm going to have to start talking about it again.
Or maybe he didn't want him. You wanted to keep him healthy for that trade for Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. I don't know, but you never know.
You never know.
He got hurt a couple times. Steve says, wow, I can't wait for Trey to become the starting quarterback for the Niners moment. Came on that 4th and goal play in week 5 versus Cardinals when he tried to run it in himself and KO Isaiah Simmons, bang, bang. Yeah, that was cool. I think that was Trey Lance's that was an eye-opening moment for him. I can't do this. He never really beat an NFL defender to the edge. He never really did. Did he?
Not that I saw.
I'm telling you what his game is going to be pocket mobility. Getting to the perimeter to throw, and he'll be a monster on scrambles, but it's going to be his last resort. He's not a run first quarterback, and I like that about him. And again, another difference between him and Colin is the pocket mobility. It is hard to sack Trey Lance. He's quick. He's got very quick feet. He seems to sense when there's pressure around him, and he's strong. Remember young Ben Roethlisberger used to just shrug off sacks? You can't just take him down with an arm or a hand. Like, Trey is going to really make this offensive line look better than it is in pass protection.
Trey is elusive in that pocket.
Big time. Will you be a guest on Rombo's show tonight, Grant? No. Thank you very much. Sorry, I got a lot going on, and I don't even know Rombo like that. Jimmy Garoppolo holds the offense back through the lack of TD throws. This shows issues putting it tight windows. Same issue with Cap. Hope Trey has better thoughts. Yeah, neither Cap nor Jimmy threw a lot of touchdown passes. The Niners haven't had a guy who throws like 30 touchdown passes in the season since Everyone's favorite quarterback right now, Jeff Garcia. Everyone's favorite. The most progressive football analyst there is.
Jeff, bad
Jeff,
look.
what were you thinking? And then he doubled down. That was great. I used to call Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Now you're canceled. How does that help? Anyone? Hypnotic. Thanks. Cap was a clown. He got figured out and couldn't adjust. Trey's the ball. The future's bright. Fans make it racial. I don't think he was a clown. Give him more than that. Was a jerk.
Much more than that, man. I was there for that Green Bay game where he ran all over him in the playoffs. I mean, come on. Show some respect for that at least.
Yeah, he was a supreme competitor. He really was.
Yeah.
If you guys were the GM and you could draft Zach Wilson or Trey Lance all day, man, I'm sorry. That was my thing with Zach. Like, he's not the most gifted quarterback I've ever seen. People compare him to Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm sorry. You didn't live through Aaron Rodgers. I went to those games at Memorial Stadium. No, this kid was just kind of throwing deep passes up for grabs against terrible defenses one season in the pandemic. I think he was fool's gold. Fugazi.
I was a little surprised that he was a consensus number 2 pick. It just didn't match up with the evidence.
You tell me the way their face looks doesn't matter. He is the most golden boy look ever. Look at him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you can't. No one says it, but you can't tell me it's not a factor. I mean, it's a factor with Jimmy. I mean, NBA players like Kobe or LeBron got drafted from high school to the NBA, yet people have concerns about Trey with his inexperience. I don't get it. The NFL is very conservative in the way they look at quarterbacks. How about that?
Yes, they are. And you can say that athleticism on the basketball court can come through a little clearer. Like, you can dominate ball control. It's all about your athleticism. In the quarterback position, it's a little more nuanced than that. But I agree that it is because of conservative beliefs and, well, it has to be run just this certain way. You look at
how many 18, 19-year-old dudes get drafted top 5 overall in the NBA because they're 6'10 and can jump high and have no game. Happens all the time. They're like, who cares? Experience. Like, dude, like, where are you? And then it either works out or it doesn't. But the NBA takes those risks way more than the NFL does.
They do. But they're also patient with it, right? They bring guys in and allow them to mature.
I mean, James Wiseman is the Warriors' Trey Lance, is he not? He played 1 game in college? 2? Something like that?
Hey, you want to know a young gentleman that had the success story? Look at the Trailblazers this year and Anthony Simons. They got him when he was 18. He looked like this skinny little kid that couldn't do anything. He is going off this season. Right things from Anthony.
There are professional athletes who are named after Penny Hardaway. Named after him. I grew up watching Penny, and that was always the coolest name of any athlete ever. Anthony, by far. Are you kidding?
Dude, the commercials with Penny and Spike Lee were epic.
Penny was the coolest basketball player in the 90s, not Jordan. Jordan in the 90s was like mid-30s, Republican. He was like a golfer. He was hot. I thought he was cooler in the 80s before I was born, like his whole persona. By the 90s, it was very like corporate and like, Penny was cool. Penny was young. Cool. Penny was, but he got hurt. Grant Hill was cool.
For sure.
Grant Hill went to Duke, though. He was a little clean cut. But Grant Hill was cool. And we had the same name. And then Grant Hill, he could have been so much better if he hadn't gotten hurt. If you hurt your knee in the 90s, you're done.
Yeah, it's amazing how far knee surgery has come, where it's like, oh, yeah, he's just going to go get surgery. He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, he'll be back in. Nick Bosa, he'll be better.
Better.